What's up, YouTube? This is Damon, aka the world's worst magician, and today I'll be bringing you a review of Octopalm, the anti-gravity gel. So essentially what this is, if you're not familiar with it, is a gel that will make it to where you kind of stick things to your hands. It's mostly for coin work, but you can also use it for cards or anything like that. And this was a subscriber request, so thank you for that, and continue to bring these up to me, and I will continue to review these products as I can. And I greatly appreciate you bringing these kind of things to my attention. So with this, I'm a little bummed. I don't know if you can really see it. I'll try to focus here, but I received it and it was basically destroyed. So I could still use it, but they're sending me a replacement because the lid basically doesn't work. So if I take it off and try to put it back on, it's basically just falling apart completely. And this stuff is super sticky. So I kind of don't want it to go everywhere. So I know I usually start with the negatives, but what I wanted to do was start with something cool that I think I flashed a couple of times, but maybe you weren't paying attention. But if you wanted to know how it sticks, that's been on the back of my hand this entire time. So I've been talking for a minute and a half, almost 2 minutes here, and it's sticking just fine. It's kind of a freak out when you first do it because, you're kind of worried about it. But when you put it in this position, I could show my hands, right? And then show my hands open, bald fist, hands open. You can't tell at all. So this is a great way to do a vanish or anything like that. And it does stick very well. As you can see up here, I kind of put some in the wrong place. So you're supposed to put it at the second joint, in between the second and third. So, or I'm sorry, first and second. But you put it in here so that way when you do a bald fist, you can't see it. You're going to have angles, of course. But as long as you keep your hands like this, pretty steady, and you can show fair, hey, I have nothing in my hands, and you have it there the entire time. So, anyway, I was rambling about that. What are the negatives? To me, the first negative is in the instruction. He doesn't really tell you how much to use. He says a fair amount, and I don't. What's fair to who, right? So it's going to be kind of a trial and error thing, and I know that the point of it is for it to be sticky, but to me, it's kind of a negative. How sticky? If you're going to use this stuff, make sure that you're using like an applicator, or that you are somewhere where you can wash your hands, because like I said, it's very sticky. And so if you take your pointer finger, put it in the stuff to apply it, now your pointer finger is going to be sticky, and anything else you touch is going to be sticky. So you could quickly get into a situation where you have too many sticky fingers. Like you weren't trying to do that, and just through the process of trying to touch here, if you accidentally touch your other finger, now your other finger's sticky, and then it could get out of control, because you really only want this in a couple of different places, mainly one place. I mean, this is what he shows you a lot, is for the vanish, to be able to show, hey, I have nothing in my hands, fair, and then you've been concealing a coin the whole time. And like you can see, we're at almost 4 minutes here. I'm just going to leave it on as long as it'll stay on, so that way you get kind of a torture test to see how long it'll be there. Another negative is that you're going to be, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, you're going to be dirty for whatever you're using. So this dime, when I take it off, the bottom of it is going to be sticky now. So it's not only my finger, now it's the object I was touching. So if you're doing a trick, I highly recommend that you do not hand out whatever you're using right away. The stick does go away, but if it's right then, you just came off of peeling it and you hand it to them, it may even stick to their hand. So that'll be kind of a dead giveaway. So I would just recommend that either you ditch it, or you just kind of wait to get it off. Another negative would be his method of telling you to get it off. He's telling you to use like turpentine or mineral water, which they're basically like paint removers. And that kind of freaked me out, because I don't want to have to use paint remover on my hands to be able to get this stuff off. That actually made me worried about even using it in the first place. Like, how strong is this stuff that I have to use paint thinner to get it off my hands? But I will say that I think he was kind of wrong about that. I mean, My fingers, the first time that I did it, I would say after, he says that it lasts for hours. That was another thing. He says it lasts for hours, and it lasted me probably about 10 to 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes with a thin layer of it. So make sure you follow the instructions properly to get it tacky before you use it. But with regular hand soap, I was able to get it off. There is a slight odor to it, but it's not unpleasant or anything. It's just you notice that there's something there when you smell your hand wherever it was. So that's another negative for you. But anyway, sorry, those negatives seem like a lot, but I'm just trying to be thorough for you. So the positives are, well, you can see the positive, right? You see it working. So he includes a lot of slights that you can do with it, performances, and his instruction is very clear. He goes through everything. He shows you a studio performance for your information. He also shows you a live performance where he does it for people, so you can kind of see what the act looks like and make yourself comfortable with that. And then he also does an explanation. So for each one of the tricks that he does, you're going to get him performing it for people, him performing it for you, and then him explaining it. So I really like the instruction there. It's a lot of in-depth information. And the biggest bonus is, does it stick? Yes. And anywhere. So you can have it on fingertips. They give some really good ideas for doing like a bottom deal or a second deal by putting just a little bit on your thumb, because it'll make your thumb so tacky that when you touch the card, you can basically just deal with your thumb. So if you have a tendency to have very dry hands, you don't have enough moisture to stick to the cards, this stuff is really going to help you out because you can get a grip to it. There's also kind of one of the things I was working with is for like a palm. They show you how to do a top palm by putting a little on your pinky. So if you're not familiar with the top palm, I'll do an ugly example for you. But basically what you're doing is your pinky is contacting the corner of the card and you're pushing it until that top card pops up so that you can palm it. So what they're helping you with is, if you don't have enough tack to be able to push this corner and get it to pop up for you, then you use some of the Octopalm, and then all you have to do is just stick your pinky flat and it'll grab that card for you to be able to do moves like that. So there's really good instruction, really good material. I've wanted to get into coin vanishing and stuff like that, and I haven't really had the confidence to do it. I've practiced a lot, but my hands are a little bit clumsy. So this stuff actually gives me the confidence, because now you can do, some sort of vanish, like act like you're going to do it. And then boom, my palms are open, nothing in my hands, make it go away. So like I said, we're now past 8 minutes and this is still holding on my hand just fine. Now, if I do give it like a hard shake, you can see it's still not coming off. So this stuff works. It works well. Make sure that you apply the right amount. I would say test this out, in your lab, and just use different amounts and different tactics. What he tells you to do is to apply it and then rub it until it becomes a little bit tacky. And then once you get to that point where you're kind of sticking a little bit, then let it set for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then you're good to go for it to activate. So make sure you take your time, do that, and then make sure you're applying it in specific places. Once you have it in those places, wipe down anything else so that you're not getting a lot of stick to it. And I think you'll be good to go with all the routines that he gives you and things like that. So do I recommend it? Yes, they're actually going to be sending me a replacement for this, because it just completely came apart. So once I get the replacement, I think I will be looking into ways to use this with the coin magic and with card slights, because you could do, you could stick it to your palm. Like, you literally could just put some in here or something, put your hand on it, and then when you lift your hand up, you'll have a card. So, if you're creative, I think your mind's already working on a lot of things that you may be able to do with this. So yeah, I recommend it if you can get it cheap. I think that I paid like $12 or something like that. I found it on Amazon, but I'm sure you could find it on, various magic websites, eBay, something like that. Anything. So for the money, I think it's good. They give you a pretty big supply that should last you for a while. especially because it's so sticky. You really don't need to take that much depending on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to lift. I tried a card, a couple of different coins, and it was able to stick or lift most things, but what you want to do is work with, he works mainly with dimes, and you can see it's because of the size. So when you flip your hand or when you're in this position, it just disappears. The bigger the coin, the bigger, you're going to have to keep your fingers close together or something like that just to make sure you hide it. So I think that's covering about everything. I've taken up a lot of your time, and as usual, I apologize for that. But yeah, this is a cool product. Thank you for recommending that I check this one out. And I recommend that you check this one out. And again, this is Octopalm, the anti-gravity gel. All right, see ya. Well, I hope you liked that review. And if you have any questions, magic tricks, or decks that you want to see reviewed, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. As always, I would greatly appreciate it if you would click that like button and subscribe for any future reviews. All right,